So the governor of Missouri is in a world of trouble. He's a Republican, ran on family values, of course. Now he's involved in a sex scandal, of course. A sex scandal, maybe also a sex sandal, I don't know. But he, of course, when he was running, said, I'm Eric Greitens, I'm a Navy SEAL, native Missourian, and most importantly, a proud husband and father. Well, we didn't bring that issue up, he did. He ran on it. In fact, I'm gonna show you a commercial a little bit later where he involved his family, significantly so. The woman that he had an affair with, and he admits that he did have an affair, he disputes that he blackmailed her or hit her, we'll get to that in a second, but the woman does not want to reveal who she is. So how do we find out about this story? Well, at the time, that woman was married to someone else, and that guy is not happy. So he apparently recorded his wife talking to him about the affair, and that's on tape. Local news stations got it. They played it on air. It is absolutely clear what the wife said at the time. And among the things she said about Greitens' treatment at the time was that it was, quote, horrible and disgusting. So what was it? Well, she explains to her husband. She doesn't know she's being recorded. So, take it with whatever grain of salt you want. I mean, on the one hand, she doesn't know it's being recorded. She's more likely to be honest. On the other hand, she's trying to explain this affair to her husband. So I'm giving you all the angles here, okay? On the call, she says, I met Eric a year ago and I instantly had a big crush on him. So she's being honest with her husband, admitting she did have a crush on him, so that part is clearly consensual. So that's important to know. Then she explains, he said, the governor said, I'll make you feel better, I'll make you feel good. Come downstairs, after he had convinced her to come to his house. I want to show you how to do a proper pull-up. And I knew he was being sexual and I still let him. And he used some sort of tape, I don't know what it was, and taped my hands to these rings and then put a blindfold on me. Sometimes I joke around on the show about watch out for these guys who keep telling you about their family values. They've got somebody tied up in a basement. In this case, it was literal. And she kept saying to her husband on the call, I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what he was doing. I knew that it was something sexual and I agreed to it, so that's my fault. But I didn't agree to all of it. And then this is what happened next, and this is very important. She explains, he stepped back, I saw a flash through the blindfold, and he said, quote, you're never going to mention my name, otherwise there'll be pictures of me everywhere. Look, somebody has an affair, that's their business. And I have said this when Democrats do it, I've said it when Republicans do it, especially if they're Republican, and we go through their record to see if they're hypocrites or not. If they were not hypocritical, you could be a Republican who's for giant tax cuts for the rich, and for more wars, but you didn't run on family values, and you were open-minded about that issue. Well, then your affair is your problem, not my problem. That's not something I'm concerned about, and not something I'd like to judge you for. But when you run on family values, you tie up a woman in the basement and then threaten to blackmail her if she tells anyone. Well, that is not consensual, and we've got a massive problem. And by the way, you're an unbelievable jerk, to say the least. That's how you treat her, and that was in the beginning. She explained, yeah, afterwards, she did have another relationship with him, and then she tried to break it off. And she told him she was his hairdresser, and eventually she wound up telling him, look, you're ruining my family life here. My husband knows now, please don't come to the salon anymore. So there were times when it was consensual, but certainly taking of the picture was not. In the recorded phone conversation, KMOV, which got the tape, explains, that's the local station in Missouri. In the recorded phone conversation, the woman takes on some of the blame and says that Greitens apologized after the encounter and told her he had deleted the picture. Okay, now this is my speculation. No, he didn't. Guys like that don't delete the picture. He had that in his back pocket. There's probably a 50% chance he still has the picture. Okay, but that's my speculation. Let's go back to what she said. She claims they had at least one more physical interaction later that day. So that goes back to consensual, giving you full context here, okay? All right, now we go to James Bennett. He is the attorney for the governor. He says, there was no blackmail and that claim is false. This personal matter has been addressed by the governor and Mrs. Greitens privately years ago when it happened. The outrageous claims of improper conduct regarding these almost 3 years ago events are false. Now, remember, the woman has not come forward. It is tapes of her from her ex-husband, now ex-husband. They were married at the time. So she doesn't want any of this publicity. She doesn't want to be known as the person who had the affair with the governor and got tied up and all that stuff. So I get the aggrieved ex-husband's angry about the governor, but he has the tapes from back then. Why would the wife lie about it back then? I mean, she might lie that she didn't have the affair to cover it up, but she didn't. She said, yeah, I did have the affair and this is what the guy did to me, okay? So now Greitens put out a joint statement with his wife. You're in this kind of mess, have the decency to leave your wife out of it. But no, he's gonna hide behind her. They say a few years ago, before Eric was elected governor, there was a time when he was unfaithful in our marriage. This was a deeply personal mistake. Eric took responsibility and we dealt with this together honestly and privately. Now look, again, if there was no charges of non-consensual behavior and he didn't run on family values at all, I say, yeah, man, that's their business. And she wants to forgive him, bless her heart. That's not our job to judge him or, most importantly, his wife and the decisions that they've made about their marriage. But it wasn't private. It wasn't private at all. So let me show you a campaign ad that he ran. Now, this is after he had the affair and he knows he tied her up in the basement. This is the ad he ran to become governor.
This election is all about the future. If you want more government, higher taxes, billions in Obamacare expansion, and corrupt career politicians as usual, then vote for Chris Koster. That's what he's been doing 22 years. But if you believe Missouri needs to change direction, and we can bring back jobs, clean up state government, and still give our kids the future they deserve, I'm Eric Greitens, and we're asking for your vote.
We are asking for your vote. Don't put your wife in the ad. I mean, that affair was, what, seconds before that ad was shot? The affair was 3 years ago, so I guess about a year and a half, 2 years before the ad was shot. Don't put your wife in the ad, man. Don't run on family values. Don't tell us that one of your advantages is that you're a decent person who has family values. There's no end to their hypocrisy. So the ex-husband said, he took a picture of my wife naked as blackmail. There is no worse person. I think it's as bad as it gets. It's as bad as it gets when someone takes advantage of something. Now that was the original story. Late breaking story now, new charges. A media reports additionally, now she has come forward, the woman that was in that affair has stated that Greitens slapped her when she revealed that she had sex with her own husband. So now you've got assault, you've got potential blackmail, and finally, Republicans in the state of Missouri have called for an investigation, saying that this cannot stand. We have to find out at least what actually happened. Yes, I encourage that investigation, and we'll find out, hopefully through that investigation, who's right and who's wrong. But right now, it does not look good. What you just watched was one of the videos that we do today, but we actually do a whole 2-hour show every single day. It's a podcast. You could watch it in video or listen to it as audio. You can download it, you can stream it, and you get it completely ad-free if you could become a member of the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.